Wow! What's happening, everybody? Yes, sir. You know we back. This is your boy, Stanley Doucette on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. Yes, sir. We're about to get it in today. Listen, all of you guys that are important, even the people that don't think you're important, I'm talking to you. Today is your day. I'm talking to one of the highest level people that I know. He deals with money. He deals with money. Listen, why am I sharing that with you? Because of this. So many times I've seen so many people get caught up having money, not knowing what to do with it, all of those crazy things. Well, today's podcast is specifically for you. We're going to dig into what to do with your money, accounting practices, tax services, and anything else in between. We're going to go ahead and get on with it. I promise you, this guy, my boy, my brother, I know y'all jealous. It's okay. It's okay. But this my dude, this my man. So listen, before we get into it and get to talking with my good brother, I want to do these commercials. So today's show is brought to you by Hot Shot Mall. If wherever you are, go to hotshotmall.com, be able to go online, shop, explore, do some wonderful things. It is absolutely amazing what Hot Shot Mall is doing for each and every one of us all over the world. Now, the other part I want to share with you is this. Go to all of my sites and subscribe, like, share, do all of those things. Go on to Let's Talk with StanleyDoucette.com and just have fun with it. Subscribe, follow us, support us, do what you do. Matter of fact, somebody said this one time, I'm going to say it again. Buy me a cup of coffee virtually. Go ahead and drop that $4 in. Whatever it is, just go ahead and do what you do because, you know, we just want to continue to bring you great content, allow you to smile, have fun, do all of those things. Now, the last thing I want to say is this. Call somebody, text somebody, go tell somebody that Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette is live right now. And they need to be on this one because everybody eventually, if you're under 18, and some of y'all have to pay anyway, under 15, 14, got to pay taxes. In America right now, it's tax season. Guess what, guys? We have to make sure we file that paperwork. Some of you business owners out there that's doing things and you want to catch up on your taxes or you want to make sure you're doing it right, I got somebody for you. Listen, my man, 50 grand and all, my frat brother, my fraternity brother, my dog, my church member, my boy, we cut up so much. Anyway, y'all don't need to know that. But anyway, I want to introduce you guys to my man, the wonderful CPA himself, Brother Eric McLaughlin. How you doing, good brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing? Thanks for having me on the show today, man. I'm excited to share with the people, bro.
Listen, E, you doing, I say this is God's work. You helping people keep their money in their pocket legally.
Yes.
That's what I like to hear.
Legally. Say that again. Legally.
Yes, sir. Legally. You know, some people want to put money under the mattress or on top of their roof, hide it in the wall. You doing it legally and making sure everybody is wonderful. Listen, Eric, so some of you guys don't know, he have, I don't know, about 15 years of experience in the accounting world. He's done stuff with Deloitte and Touche. I think that's how you say it, right? Deloitte and Touche.
Deloitte and Touche, now Deloitte, yeah.
Now Deloitte, that's right. Yeah. Now Deloitte, the Southern Company. He's helped a myriad of there's lawyers, accounting firms, just everybody you could imagine, from athletes to pastors, helping them structure their business the way it's supposed to be. So I wanted to make sure that we had a time to talk to you because so many people hit us up, as you know, and began talking about money. You know, they came into a wild of money or they just trying to save on their taxes. So I wanted to, you know, at least have an opportunity for us to share with you and go to work, man. So let me ask you this question. Yeah. Who is Eric? Who is Eric McLaughlin? I mean, who is he?
Who am I? Well, I mean, there's a couple of things that could describe me. I'm a husband, so I've been married for about 25 years to my wife, Tanisha, who went to Spelman. I'm a Morehouse grad, so I'm a Morehouse man. You know, so
I'm not gonna hold that against you. It's okay.
Look, so Morehouse man, alpha man, of course. I have two sons,
Right.
EJ, Jacob. Oldest son is in New Orleans right now. Put up a shirt for Southern. Yeah, he's in New Orleans. Yeah.
You already know.
He's
Listen, if y'all not looking, go to the YouTube channel. Y'all go check out the YouTube channel. Look at what I'm doing.
gonna represent. Look, my youngest is in high school, so I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a man of God, so I'm a man of faith. I believe in God. I don't think that you're going to be able to achieve your purpose, your destiny in life without being connected to the Heavenly Father above and following His direction, His guidance. And I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a CPA. So I've been a CPA for over 20 years. I own a CPA practice downtown, and I love what I do. I love helping people not just understand taxes and accounting. I love people that are walking in their destiny and their purpose for their lives, because that's where you really start to achieve and move, and money literally starts to follow the vision that God gave you.
Man, that's powerful. You talking about that. I got we talking. I'm listen, y'all gonna call me, y'all gonna be mad at me. But I want to do something. I want to take a detour. Can we take a detour real quick?
Detour.
Help me understand this portion, right? Because I don't think a lot of people understand this. A lot of people see when you go to church and you pay your tithes, and then they get mad when they see a pastor or somebody riding in a Bentley or a Range Rover or whatever, right? Please help people understand that the pastor has several different streams of income, not getting money out of the collection plate.
Right. Well, there are pastors. I will actually tell you, Stanley, that is one of the things that I actually speak to pastors, bishops, apostles about, is the importance in ministry of developing streams with an S of income. Yes, absolutely. I'm a believer in tithing. I'm blessed because I tithe. I have more than enough because I tithe. So I'm an advocate of that. But I also believe that churches and pastors should build these multiple streams of business and revenue. One of the things I talk about with churches is, think about if your facility has enough room, build a daycare, build a school. Think about this. If you have janitorial people on staff, consider starting a janitorial service. If you have security folks on staff, consider starting a security company. It is a non-traditional way of thinking that can both bring money into God's house, but also put your people to work and teach them how to apply these principles that we talk about in business, and even the principles of sowing and reaping, the benefit of sowing into a place and reaping.
No, that's good, man. And I ask that because, as you know, we get bombarded by some people saying, oh, they just stealing money from the church and all of those other good things. Let me ask, when you sit down with, I'll say pastors, but what is pastors or just regular people, and you begin to share with them about businesses, you share that because of what? Because of the tax implications, or just visions, or why do you share that?
So everything doesn't have to be like tax related. And I tell it to people too, because a lot of times, of course, I'm a CPA, so we deal in taxes. So people always want to know tax strategies, and we're going to talk about them. But everything we do should not be driven by a tax motive. I talk to them about it because, number one is, I think that it's important to solidify the foundation of the church, especially if you're going to be talking about people, being able to come out of their different situations. If you're trying to talk about them being able to build wealth, I think you've got to actually teach the people. You can't just be about just keep saying things. And that was candidly one of the things that I really enjoyed when I was at New Birth. For the 16 years under the late Bishop Eddie Long, was the fact that he brought in a Jerome Edmondson and Alina Edmondson to teach entrepreneurs about how do you do business. So then we could start to actually not have to depend on a 9-to-5.
Yeah. See,
so you can fish for yourself.
Yes. See, one of the things, you talking about language, you start talking about entrepreneurship. I just had an opportunity to speak to some high schoolers about entrepreneur, which, I absolutely love. Here's the other side of entrepreneur that people don't realize. It's just like you saying, you're building a vision, and you're building the infrastructure for your vision. But a lot of people don't have that girth, that get up and go. Let's go make this happen. But I always share with people that I have, I've been blessed to mentor, is you have an option. You can do the vision, or you can go work to fulfill somebody else's vision. It's up to you. And for me, I would much prefer to work on my vision than to go work to build somebody else's vision. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. But I will say that I have learned, I have a practice, I have over 14 people on staff. I've learned you've got to have people that are going to support and undergird the vision. So you can't knock, even though I am absolutely an advocate of entrepreneurship, I'm absolutely an advocate of people pursuing and doing the things that they need to do and not depending on the 9 to 5. There are those that are called,
yes,
in those positions. My brother works for GM and he's been there for 30 years. That's his thing. He started a business now with his wife over the past year or so, but he is, he's been blessed where he is in that spot. So I absolutely agree with you. You're either gonna grow your vision or you're going to support somebody else's vision.
No, I agree. And yes, you're right. You're right. There are some people that's just, entrepreneurship is not for them. And I don't want them to go into something that's not for them, right? Because then they'll be miserable.
Exactly. It doesn't accomplish the goal, because I advocate to people to pursue their passion. I'm like, if you don't like your 9 to 5, figure out what your passion is and start moving in that direction. But like you said, conversely, you may not entrepreneur. My wife's not necessarily an entrepreneur. She doesn't want to do that. She likes her 9 to 5, being able to know her money's coming in her account every 2 weeks, and that's okay. There's no knock against that. There's no judgment against that. That just means you're where you're supposed to be.
That's absolutely right. I think the key to this conversation is being where you're supposed to be.
Yes.
And not where somebody else dictate you be.
That's a good point.
That I think that's is great. So listen, in right now we're in America, and shout out to my people that's international. Shout out to my people in Ireland. Shout out to my people in South Africa. Shout out to my people in the Far East. Grace to all of you guys. Let me ask you a question from an American standpoint. As people are starting to do and fulfill their tax obligations for the country, what are some of the records that they should keep or hold or do for when they come to your office that you're not looking like, what are we doing?
Right. Well, for those that work the 9 to 5, that are W employees, that process, depending on how complex their financial lives is, can be pretty straightforward. You're collecting your W-2, maybe you've got 1099s, you've got statements from your mortgage company or your real estate taxes and charitable contributions. The important thing is just to, as it comes in, to start accumulate it in a folder or an envelope, some kind of way, so that way you can provide it to the preparer. Those situations are usually pretty straightforward. Who I really speak to, and really where there has to be some planning and some proper record keeping, is to those of us that are business owners, those of us that are trading stocks and bonds, those of us that are in cryptocurrencies. And I would just say on the cryptocurrency side, a lot of individuals that are actually traders of currency, so not the ones that buy and hold like me. I buy and hold. I got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Shibu, so Chainlink. I buy and hold. I don't do a lot of trading because I'm in for the long haul. I'm a long-term holder. But those that go in and out of positions, they're going to have an awakening when they do their taxes this year, because you've got to have a record of what you bought and then what you sold and which of those currencies did you sell specifically, so you can apply a cost and a price to it, because you get taxed on the difference. And that's the thing you got to realize with cryptocurrencies, is that I don't want to get too far on this.
No, please educate, brother.
The thing about cryptocurrencies is if you use them to purchase things, cars, houses, or even little things, each one of those is a taxable event and has to be reported on the return. If you trade cryptocurrencies, I buy Bitcoin, I use that Bitcoin to buy Ripple, that's a taxable event. And some people didn't think that or know that taking one coin to buy another coin is a taxable event. So it's those kinds of things that you got to know or become educated about. We're dealing with a client right now who was on all these different exchanges. We're still trying to get her 2020 return done because she's got to pull her reports from all these different exchanges. Remember where she was on these different exchanges, give it to us so we can do the return. So record keeping is really important with crypto. It's also important with stocks and bonds because, again, similar discussion. You got to know what you bought something for, what you purchased, what you sold it for, so you get taxed on the difference. But in business, it's absolutely critical. I'd say that is the number one thing you should do. You want to get the best return possible? Keep good books and records. How much money came in and where did it go? If you can't tell me how much money came in and where did it go, we're already behind the 8 ball. We're already in problems.
You know, that's deep, because I think going into some of the things that we're thinking about from a business standpoint, like you said, if you're doing a 9 to 5, that's for the most part kind of straightforward. But getting into the business side, when you have all of these opportunities to do certain things, what would be your number one advice for those business owners to keep or to hold or to do, or even hire somebody to keep all of the things, you know, to make your job better so we're not looking crazy in front of the IRS?
Well, so you got to realize if you're in business, I go back to this point, you got to have books and records. So if you got to have books and records, right? If I'm telling you that's the number one thing, then you got to figure out how am I going to do that? Either A, I'm going to do it myself, so you can use software. I'm an advocate of QuickBooks. Most of our clients are on QuickBooks, like 99% of them are, but there's other softwares out there, FreshBooks, Xero. Point being, get an accounting software to pull in your financial data, because a lot of those softwares will connect with your bank account, your credit card, and all these other sources to help you prepare a financial statement that we need to do the return. If you're not going to do that, then you need to either A, hire a bookkeeper, someone to do your books, or you hire someone like me to keep the books. But you cannot just guess at how much money you made and guess at what your expenses are. That's going to be problematic. Number one, because you're going to miss out on deductions because you're going to forget what they are. Two is you're not going to have good records if you have to go into an audit situation and they say, tell me, you know, about this $10,000 expense you had for meals and entertainment. And you're going to start fumbling because you don't have a solid record.
That's right. That's right. It's amazing. But hold on, let me pause here. Shout out to your firm. I don't, you know, we just went to talking. Listen, shout out to your firm. E, give us the infomercial for your firm, because we just start talking. Y'all forgive me. I know it's just us. Y'all forget. We boys, so we forget.
It's all good.
Go ahead on and share with us about your firm, what you guys do. I know what you do, but
sure,
the family don't know. So share with the family what you guys do.
So I have a practice, Eric McLaughlin, LLC. We are a certified public accounting firm. So we specialize basically in two main areas. One is outsourced accounting. So clients hire us not just to do their books, though we do those, but they want us to do more transactional things, pay their bills, pay people, invoice their clients, reconcile their bank accounts. So stuff that an accounting department would do for a company, that's what we do for our clients. That's one side of the house. The other side of the house has to do with taxes. We do tax preparation, business and personal. We do tax planning. So we're spending a lot of time trying to help clients not just prepare the return, but hey, what things can I do so I don't have to give all my money to the IRS or give all my money to the state? That's what we do. And then we do some work in the tax mitigation space. So if some people owe taxes, we can help you get into an installment agreement. We can assist you with an offer and compromise, those kinds of things. That's the area that we play in. We've been doing it since 2006. So over 15 years, almost 16 years now. You know, about 14 people that are on staff helping us get this work done. And we would love to help those out in the audience. Our niche people that we deal with are those are the doctors, attorneys, or those that are real estate professionals or investors or flippers. Those kind of people we hone in on, and those are really in our sweet spot. But we also deal with people who are just, you know, in business and trying to get some support.
Is there any size? Does a size matter, or it doesn't matter to you?
For our clients, really, it's more about clients that have been in business for a few years, maybe in revenue, upwards of 500,000 and up. Is typically someone that's going to fit well with our profile, not because we're going after money, but because of the fact that the service offering that we have, the fee structure they have, works best for them. If they're a startup, we can do some advisement with them, but they're probably not the best fit for us as a
That
business.
makes sense. Yeah, that makes. I mean, well, never mind. I'm not gonna say who some of your clients, so I'm gonna just leave that there. I'm not gonna give secrets out.
Yeah. Well, we work with a variety of individuals. We work with some entertainers, some athletes, but we usually try to keep a low profile. We're not trying to, we're happy with the clients that we have and people that we serve. We'd be happy to serve people in your audience, and provide them with the help that they need.
One thing I want to say in all of this, if we're talking about financial well-being, right? What are some of the tips or some of the things that we can do to manage our cash flow?
Well, so when you talk about managing cash flow, specifically from a business perspective, I'm going to talk about from a business perspective, right? Because
Okay.
there are a lot of different ways with cash flow. But when you're dealing with business, I have in my head, they used to talk about these circles. So when you deal with like receivables and payables, right? Receivables meaning a client owes me money. So sometimes you bill a client and they pay you right away, but sometimes you got to give them terms, maybe 10 days, 15 days, 30 days. The
Right.
idea is to have your receivable circle be as small as possible. In other words, you need that money to come in quick and come in consistently. But your accounts payable cycle, you want it to be long. You want it to be at least 30 days because you want time to figure out and manage which bills you're going to pay. And so the ability to have your money come in quick and to get these terms with vendors is really how you're able to grow a business. So that's probably tip number one, is to say, really work on, if you're in business, managing the money coming in as quick as possible and getting as much runway as possible to pay bills is number one. Number two is what I would say is, as much as possible, I know there's a lot of thoughts out there about using debt. When we're personal in debt, yeah, maybe not so good. In business, debt is good because it's other people's money. You want to use other people's money to help support your business and take risk with that money versus your own cash. Go after lines of credit, company credit cards, use that to undergird the expenses of the business and start building up the cash reserves of the business so that when hard times come, i.e. a pandemic, you are able to survive, because it's not like, okay, business shuts down all of a sudden. I don't have any cash in the bank. I don't have any lines of credit. I can't move. I'm stuck. That's what you want to do, is you want to make sure that you are liquid, is what they call it, having cash in the bank, and that you have lines available to be able to float your business. And what I will say is, if you look at your big companies like your Coca-Colas, your Fords, your GMs, all of those, they have whole treasury departments that do nothing but what they call go to market, to go get short-term lending to float expenses, payroll, rent, all those kinds of things. And they're managing that against the cash they got in the bank. They're never going to spend all their cash. In fact, if you try to buy a company and you look at the company and they got like $100 in the bank or no money in the bank, you'd be like, I'm not investing in them. They don't have any money in the bank. So those are the kinds of things we want to think about when we're in business.
Man, you just struck something in me when you talk about that. I know when you start purchasing companies and all of those things, have you been in any of those mergers, or have any experience in dealing with any of those mergers or taking companies public?
I don't. That's not the area that I play in.
Okay.
I used to, way back, do a little due diligence work. So we when the companies were being acquired, they were acquiring companies. In my position, I was responsible for looking at the books and making sure, what did their balance sheet say? Are they liquid enough? Do the ratios work? Those kinds of things. But that's not where I play now. So I don't deal with mergers or acquisitions or IPOs. And even from my investment side, from what I invest in, I usually invest in either big companies. So I have money like an Apple and Amazon and Tesla, Or
Right.
I'll sometimes watch CNBC, and if they say some companies, up and coming, I might throw some money in that.
Yeah. No, that's good. I say that because some of these tips, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. He dropping nuggets for some. Some of y'all need to replay some of this stuff. I'm telling you. But I'm saying that because as you are conversing to our family and they're listening to you, you're dropping bombshell tips of a massive proportion to them to take and to be able to understand. One of the things you said was helping them use and leverage their debt so they can have money in the bank. How long would you say some of the businesses that are out there, how much you should be liquid? How long you should have your money for liquid?
So that's a common question that we get asked.
Yeah.
Um, I say anywhere from 3 to 6 months is
Okay.
what you want to have in cash. And it's not just for emergency purposes, but when you start going to the bank or
Mm-hmm.
going to the bank to get loans or lines of credit, right? Or you even try to
Yes.
go to investors, you're trying to pull in other people to put money into your company, they're going to look at your balance sheet. Balance sheet shows assets, liabilities, and equity is what a
Yeah.
balance sheet is made of. They call it a balance sheet because it balances assets equals liabilities plus equity. But the point being is they're going to look at the financial health of your company from that perspective. If you don't have any cash at the very top, you don't have any assets, you don't have any receivables, then be like, but you're just loaded down with debt. They're gonna be like, you're an unhealthy company.
Yes.
You need to have assets in the bank and assets that the business owns to help make the business go and grow. And you can't grow a business with no cash. Cash is
That's right. Listen to what he just said. You cannot grow your business without cash. Write it down, put it on your forehead or somewhere.
yeah,
You cannot grow business without cash. Okay,
right.
that was my little interjection of wisdom there.
No, that it's good wisdom.
Yeah. So all right. So now I'm one of those individuals. I want to start my own business, right? So what, for that person that's out there that's saying, Stanley, ask Eric how to start my own business. How should I structure it? So what would your advice be on that from your side of the table?
From my side, and I'm glad you said from my side of the table because there's a couple of angles you got to go through. One of them might be the marketing folks and I just had to deal with this when my son and I are starting this trucking company. Naming the company is like so important. You
Yeah.
need to use the right name because it starts to build your brand. For example, I'm a CPA firm. And one of the things I learned when going through this entrepreneurship class with Jerome and Alina Edmondson was the importance of a name. And I had this crazy name. It was called B&M Financial Consultants was the name at the time. And like B&M, it had a different meaning at the time, like bowel movement, I think is what they, BM. So
Yeah. Yeah.
this
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't work. And when you look at the big, I don't know how many firms there are now, but you look at your Arthur Andersen, well, they're not around anymore, but Ernst & Young, KPMG, Deloitte, they have the names of those partners on the firm. And so
Right.
therefore they were like, CPA firms need to have the name of the owner on it because people are dealing with money. They don't want anybody hiding behind anything, as it relates to that. So naming is important. So, that marketing piece is important. From a structural perspective,
Yeah.
whether you're an LLC or an Inc. or a partnership or an S Corp or a C Corp really depends on the business that you're in. Somebody asked me that same question on yesterday on my show, and I tell them that it depends. You really have to have the fact pattern to be able to say. And let me just give you for example.
Okay.
Is typically people who are in real estate. So if you're trying to house real estate, you're going to buy real estate, right? Real estate, you typically put into a limited liability company. And that is because, you're trying to protect it from creditors, one, and limit the liability. So if something happens in that piece of real estate, it's limited there. But also because structures like Incs are not good for real estate. It has to do with how capital gains are realized when you're selling them. LLCs are just more favorable.
Yeah.
But, for other businesses, maybe an Inc would work. maybe an S corp would work for another. So you have to understand the fact pattern of that. The other thing that I will say, Stan, is I typically, in general, favor limited liability companies
Okay.
over things. And the reason that I do that is because when you start a business, right, you're just thinking, I want to get started. I'm ready to go make some money and do
Yeah.
some. With LLCs, you can pretty much do that. Go to the Secretary of State's website if you don't want a CPA or an attorney to set it up. Pay the fee to the Secretary of State. Matter of minutes, you're done. A matter of a week or so, you have your LLC. Go to the IRS website, 5 or 10 minutes, you got a tax deed number. Boom, you're ready to go to the bank, open your account, get the business, hang your shingle. With corporations, they have more formalities, is what they call them, corporate formalities. You have to have minutes, you have to have resolutions, and then you have to have boards of directors and who's going to be the president and all those kinds of things. And if you're new to business, you're not going to know all of that stuff. Maybe you don't want other people in your business. Maybe it's just going to be you. So I favor LLCs for that reason in general. But again, it just depends on the fact pattern. But you should structure first. So name, structure, and then once you get your structure from there, then you can start to go ahead and start building your business, understanding the line of business you're in and what's required. So that's the other thing, is to understand what's required in your line of business. Be a student of it. For example, if you were doing real estate and maybe you're going to sell real estate, some real estate transactions require a real estate license. My line of work requires me to have a license as a CPA. If you're a barber, you're going to be required to have a license as a barber. So make sure you understand the rules and regulations of your industry so you don't run afoul.
Yeah. Family, I want you guys to listen to what he shared. I mean, this wisdom that he's opening to you guys are absolutely massive to what he's doing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start charging y'all because this listen, this is why I say this, Eric. You know this to be true, but I'm not so much talking to you. I'm talking to the family on this one. Listen, get your financial stuff in order. Let me say that again. Get your financial stuff in order. The reason I share that is, how did he take down Al Capone?
Yep.
It had nothing to do with the criminal side per se, what everybody else was thinking. It was the tax information. Now, I'm using Al Capone for a reason, because that, I think, is the prime example when somebody didn't put their financial house in order, get their financial well-being, right? I'm not talking about what he did, how he, none of that. I'm just talking about getting his financial stuff in order. How many athletes you know, E, that they go in the league and all of a sudden they got 100 million, they leave, now they working at McDonald's. What we got to do something to educate. Let me start to, I'm sorry, I'm about to get on my soapbox just for a second. I'm gonna come back to you.
Yeah.
Listen, we as African Americans, we as Black people have to start educating our families about the finances. We can't hold the money in the brown envelope under the bed or in the little pocketbook. We have to start educating our family about finances. We have to start educating them about taxes for real. We have to start educating them about investments and all kind of other things. We have one of the highest level CPAs on the planet here dropping wisdom, even on something I thought was so powerful, Eric, when you said the name is important. I've seen people name something and then they have this long string email. I'm like, who's sending you an email? You Holy Ghost Spirit baptized filled .com.
Right.
What? Listen, we have to, Eric, I can't express this enough, how greater information you just shared. Study your craft. Like you said, going into your side of work, most people got names up there, not, like you said, acronyms, right? Going into other things, you may need an acronym. So all of that, we have to study, see what our eventual competitors are doing, or all of that stuff, so we would know. Family, please pay attention to this. This is some, I can't think, this is awesome. Wait, E.
Huh?
I know you're humble. I know you, but other people may not. I know you. E, don't you have a show or something that you're doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So on Tuesday, every Tuesday at 8 p.m.,
Mhm.
this is my premiere yesterday at 8 p.m. on KBCN. You can Google it, KBCN. It's a web-based network. We're doing Level Up with Eric McLaughlin. That's the name of the show, Level Up with Eric McLaughlin. And we are talking about a variety of things, finances, but it's not going to just be taxes. It's not going to just be financial matters. We're going to talk about marriages. I may have my wife come on. We're going to talk about friendships and kids, but all things revolving around finance with the purpose of us leveling up. We're going to give out some things that maybe you didn't know, like Stanley was saying. There's things that we need to know so we know how to do things differently than my parents did, differently than my grandparents did, and so that our kids, I'm trying to lay up for the next generation. Bible says you
That's
didn't
right.
do this for your children's children. That is what I'm trying to do. And so I'm trying to impart those nuggets to those that will listen on the show about how we can level up together.
I agree. We need to level up together with Eric McLaughlin and wife.
Right.
She's not gonna get mad at me today. No,
I
sir.
like that. And wife. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Listen, now I'm gonna say this. Give me some advice, not me, but for the family, for I'll say entertainers, athletes, those are making, those get hit with a major amount of money right away. Even people that win the lottery. What are some advice you would do for helping them quickly make sure they are structurally is sound, their structure is sound in what they're doing?
I'm going to say three things.
Okay.
First of all, the Bible says there's safety in a multitude of counsel. So
Mhm.
seek out counsel. Seek out people that you can trust. Vet them, because
Yes.
some people are not going to be good for you. You need to have an attorney. You need to have a CPA. You need to have other individuals around you that are going to help you manage the money, whether it's a lottery winner, whether it's an entertainer that's coming or athlete that's coming to a bunch of money, or whether it's you as an individual. We all need counsel. So that's point number one. Point number two is to develop a level of discernment. I'm not gonna get all spiritually deep here, but listen to that inner voice inside. If somebody doesn't ring right with you, no matter what the advisors say, no matter who's around you, go with that first instinct.
Mhm.
But so that you can make sure that you're following the right people, because not everybody's there for your good.
Yes.
Some people want to take what you got and then some. So you got to be careful of that. And the last thing I will say is, don't be afraid to pay for advice. I think that's a thing that sometimes runs rampant amongst us as a people, is the desire to get things, knowledge, wisdom, services, and not be willing to pay what the person is asking for that service. And that keeps us out of a lot of things. You want to, if a person you feel like is providing you with a good service, giving you right advice, don't be afraid to point them or bless them by paying them what they're worth. Just like when you provide a service, you want a person to provide you and not ask for the hookup. Rather than the hookup, I want you just to give me the service that I pay for. When I go to my barber, I'm less concerned about her giving me a discount on a haircut. I just want to make sure that she cuts my haircut right, my line is right, my beard is right. If you do all those things, I'm happy, more so than you gave me a discount and my haircut's jacked up.
Man, there's two things I want to say real quick. One is Master P, and then the other part is that last piece, and then I get to Master P point. Guys, please stop asking professionals for a discount. And I'm not talking about if somebody bless you with 5% off, 10% off, 20% off. Not that. I'm talking about you walk in the door and say, Eric, hey, can you do my taxes this year for free? Like, Eric, can you do this for free? Wait. I know Eric, and he don't mind blessing people, and he bless people all the time. But wait a minute, you can't walk in the door. Right. I don't know you, but hey, can I get a discount? No, you can't. This not that firm. This not that service.
Exactly.
Stop it, y'all. Pay what the person is worth. On the opposite end, conversely, those that have a service. Stop depreciating yourself so somebody can like you. Hey man, I'm sorry, I can't give you no discount. Well, I'm not gonna come to you. That's fine. You go and pay money somewhere. It may
Right.
not be to me, but you're gonna pay this money. So
Exactly.
stop devaluing yourself to fit in. Man, we dropping some nuggets here today. Then the
No, I think
last thing,
that's so important because really what you want to do is you want to raise your level of expectation of people and just make sure that you're getting the service that you're paying for. So there's nothing
yes,
wrong with saying, I'm paying you this money. I'm going to now hold you accountable for the service that you're. And that's really what I go for is I'm willing to pay you for the service. I'm not going to discount you, but I'm also going to expect that you're going to provide the service that I'm paying for. And I expect the clients to do the same with me. And they do. They're like, hey, blase, and I got to, correct that because they're paying for that service.
that's right. That's right. So listen, y'all heard those nuggets. Now, the last piece I was going to talk about was Master P, right? And you talking about paying for advice. And I don't remember the number, but I'll never forget listening to an interview with Master P. And he said this. He said, the best advice cost him everything at that time. He said he was trying to figure out the music industry in basically some kind of way. He sought out who was the best attorney in entertainment at the time. And it wound up, it was Michael Jackson's, or who had the best record deal at the time, and it was Michael Jackson. And he said, well, who's his attorney or the person that set the deal up? And it was, ex-attorney. I don't remember the names and all of that. And he called and asked, can he have a meeting? And he said, you can't afford me. I want you to hear that again. The attorney told Master P at the time he couldn't afford it. So Master P said, well, how much? I forget the number. Let's just say it was $50,000 for, listen to this, guys, for a 10-minute meeting. Let me say this again, $50K for a 10-minute meeting. And to this day, if you ever talk to Master P, if you sit down and converse with him, he will tell you to this day, that was the best $50,000 he's ever spent for 10 minutes. Now, broke-minded individuals, first thing gonna come out of your mouth, ain't no way in the world I'm paying $50,000 for 10 minutes. Here's what happened in Master P's life. He said from that knowledge, he went from that knowledge to making, $200-300 million. He's worth $200-300 million now. But y'all complaining about paying the $50,000 for the 10-minute meeting. Think about that. Just the mindset of all of that in and of itself, how powerful it is. Now look at where P is. We're not so much talking about Master P, but the principles and the thought process he had. What Eric is sharing with us today is really a mindset and a thought process about wealth. He's speaking from a wealth standpoint, not a broke, somebody broke. Yeah, still go get your cousin on the corner that's doing taxes
Right.
and get all of that jacked up, right? He's Eric. Again, we're talking about Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette podcast. We shared at the beginning. We bring in quality to the table. If you're looking for somebody that's ignorant, broke, sorry, this is not the show. As a matter of fact, disconnect. But if you're looking for quality,
yeah,
that's what we're bringing. Eric is probably, well, let me say, in my opinion, Eric is probably at the top 5 of, I won't say attorneys, but CPAs in the metro area in Atlanta. That's an opinion. Y'all may agree, may not agree, but here's what I know. Not only he has the quality, not only does he have the knowledge, but he's humbled and he want to give you the best advice possible. Not just saying, let me do this so I can make some more money. He's not looking to make money. He's looking to empower you. Guys, if you're in Atlanta metro area, matter of fact, I'm sure you'll take people outside of the metro area, right? Listen to what I'm saying. Eric is that guy if you want to get your financial house in order. He is that guy. You have questions, you need to get at him. Eric, what are some of your contact information? Because I need people to really get themselves together at this point.
So you can go to my firm's website, Eric McLaughlin, ERICMCGLOTHEN, ericmclaughlinllc.com. And you can make an appointment on my website. You can put a note if you need to send a note to me. You can go that way. My office number is 404-946-1855, 946-1855, or you can email me at cpa@ericmclaughlinllc.com. I'm also on most of the social media platforms, not all of them. I'm on Instagram, Emax CPA, Twitter, Emax CPA, and then I'm on Facebook.
See, guys, listen, if you can't figure that out or remember that, hit your boy up. I'll get you to Eric. I promise. I don't make a tip. I don't make a referral. I don't get this. No, what we're trying to do is make sure you are solid and you can sleep with a peace of mind and not worry about any of those other things. This is the guy, I'm telling you. Guy, listen, before we close out, E,
I
gotta say this.
Yes.
You know, part of your family from Louisiana too.
Yes.
I know that, right?
Yes.
You know where I'm from.
Yes.
I always shout my people out from New Orleans. So you gotta shout my people out from New Orleans. I'm gonna shout out first, and then you shout behind me. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Yes. This is my dude, man. Y'all don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm about to go somewhere else. Listen. lastly, I'm gonna turn it over to you. What are some powerful advice that you would give, whether it's business owners, individuals, personal, married couples, divorced couples, whatever? What are some powerful advice you would give them, whether it's life, whether it's business, or whatever's on your heart to share with them?
Well, I'll say, I think I have 3 things. One is start from where you are. So we've thrown out a lot of things today, and you'll hear a lot of other advice from me or from others. Never think like it's just so magnanimous that you can never get there. I can't start. Start from there. If you want to start saving, start with $1, put $1 a week, or start somewhere to develop that habit. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I would say, be proactive. So in this world of taxes, and we haven't even touched on all the things that we could do, it's important to be proactive. If you're trying to get at the best tax situation after the tax year is already ended, that is trying to deal with 2021 taxes now, and you haven't really planned in 2021, we're only going to be able to do so much. You got to be proactive. And then the last thing that I would say is, again, surround yourselves with professionals. If you're in business, if you're in real estate, if you're dealing in this cryptocurrency space, don't be afraid to go for professional advice to help you, and realize above that you may have to change your circle.
Yes.
If you're the smartest person in the room, then you're probably in the wrong room.
That's you about to start talking about changing circles. We're about to have a whole nother podcast. E, I can't thank you enough, brother. I know you're busy, but the mere fact you took out time to spend with the family today to drop some massive nuggets on. Listen, guys, y'all go back and listen to this again. This was off the charts. I can't thank you enough, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know, we're about to roll on out of here. But E, give them your contact information again, because I really believe some people need to get in touch with you like tomorrow.
So you can call my office 9 to 5, 404-946-1855, 404-946-1855, or go to my website at ericmclaughlinllc.com.
And let them know you heard him on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette, and he probably will start laughing. But then after he laughed, he gonna get serious and help you get your stuff together.
Yes. Thank you, Stan, for having me, brother. I so appreciate it. I always like doing work, especially with my frat brothers. Yes, sir.
You know how it is. Yes, you know how we do it, baby. So listen, family, wherever you are in the world, I appreciate you taking the time out today to listen to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is incredible about what we're doing. On top of all of that, we're going to roll on out of here because y'all know your boy have the best intro and outro music on the planet. So we got, y'all just go ahead on and listen to the intro and outro. We're about to get on out of here. But E, thank you so much, brother. Again, truly appreciate you. For everybody, go to all of the social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out my YouTube channel. I always forget to listen. I make some crazy faces. Y'all check out the YouTube channel. I promise you, y'all gonna enjoy it. It's under Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. You got to put the apostrophe in it. If you don't, it's not going to bring it up. LET apostrophe S. Let's Talk with StanleyDoucette.com. It's there. You can go all the other places and get it. I love you, E. Thank you so much, my brother.
All right, man.
Let's go to work, family.
Go
Get
to
in
work.
touch with Eric so you can get your financial house in order. Love y'all. Y'all be good. I'll see y'all next week on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. And we out of here. Peace.
Peace.